Well, as the head coach of the Saints, Sean Payton did more than just help the Saints win on the field. He also volunteered his time off the field to help with the Second Harvest Food Bank, which fights against hunger. Joining us now on Zoom to discuss is the Director of Marketing and Communications for Second Harvest, Jay Weiss. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Sheba. Good morning.
Good morning. Of course, we are all sad to see Coach Payton go, but he's done so much for this community and for this team. We, of course, still have to celebrate him. So tell us how he was a supporter of Second Harvest.
Yeah, he was a supporter of so many organizations around New Orleans, around Louisiana, and our region, both personally through his foundation, with him and his wife, as you can see on the screen. Among the donations to us, $100,000 donation that he did back in the depths of the COVID response and Hurricane Laura. He personally oversaw deliveries of food through his foundation and Feed the Children, the Second Harvest Food Bank, to people in need. And he was just a very hands-on guy when it came to this. And he led by example, too. So many of his players, as you know, Drew Brees, a big supporter of ours, and the Saints owner, Mrs. and Tom, big supporters of Second Harvest in the mission and the fight against hunger. We could not be prouder of the relationship we've had with him. Wherever he goes, we know he's going to be a big impact on their community. But of course, we hope he stays close to home here in New Orleans.
Of course, that one makes him, I think, so special to our hearts, makes him feel like a part of the community. He wasn't just winning games on the field. He was actually a part of our community.
Yeah, that's something that really stands out. And going back to when he just came here, he came here in a time when the city was, almost literally bombed out right after Katrina. We didn't know maybe would New Orleans come back, and he had to move here. He decided to move here, really made the choice to be a part of the rebuilding. He recruited Drew Brees here and his whole team to be part of rebuilding the city and this region, this part of the state. So the impact he's had just on Second Harvest alone it's hard to put into words. But the impact he set by example throughout the community, just his direct donations to organizations like ours, and just his leadership and everything that he does, it's been quite the inspiration. It's a whole story of resilience that applies to us, but just to everything that he does across New Orleans in the 17 years he's been here.
It is so true. Did you get the chance to be around him personally? And if so, what was he like?
Well, I did. Back before I joined Second Harvest 8 years ago, I was with the Saints Radio Network and WWL Radio for about 6 years. So got to see him in person, behind the scenes, press conferences, and how he would, he would hang out before and after sometimes with the press conferences and talk to the media, and just a really down-to-earth guy. As you saw yesterday at the press conference, he showed up not only with a king cake for Mrs. Benson, but 100 king cakes for the entire media staff and everybody there to cover what he was doing that day. So just a great guy, down-to-earth guy. What you see on TV with a sense of humor and focus is what he's like off the field. He's approachable, but he's very, very serious about his business. So just a great guy. Glad to say I got to see him behind the scenes and know him a little bit. It's kind of hard to know such a deep individual. Yeah. Just watching what he does in our community has been an inspiration.
It definitely has, such an inspiration. Jay, thanks for sharing your stories, and so glad to hear that he was so involved in the community here, as we knew. Thank you.
Thank you. Who dat, baby?
Who dat?